Hey everyone, welcome to the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I am your host. I'm the Clydesdale. We love to do fitness, and these are my friends. It's an Amy and Charlie episode.
Oh yeah.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. I'm liking the sunshine today.
Yeah, it was nice today. We do need to thank our title sponsor, RX Smart Gear, best jump ropes in the business. When you go to their website, rxsmartgear.com, you can look at all the different jump ropes they have. They have speed ropes, they have regular ropes, they have classic ropes, and they also have additional equipment to help with your jump rope needs and or grips for doing pull-ups. And you can purchase some of those items, most of those items. And when you go to checkout, you can type in Clydesdale 15, all caps, at checkout, and you'll get 15% off your order on everything except for new releases and special editions.
I used mine tonight.
You did? I used mine Monday.
Yeah.
And it did not go well, but that's okay.
Mine went okay today. So that's good.
We also have to thank our other sponsor, Bear Bells protein bars. They are super delicious, many flavors, and you need to check those out at bearbells.com. We do have a discount code now, and it is Clydesdale10, and you'll get 10% off anything you purchase at bearbells.com. So now that that's out of the way, so how have you guys been this week?
Well, I've been doing pretty good, and I'm really proud of our friend Charlie because he has been following the program, listening to his coach. On the one day I wasn't there, he said that he could hear me in his head. And so I feel like we're making great progress.
That is a scary proposition.
These are all true statements. And starting Monday, that all goes out the window. It's time to crank it back up. Training wheels are coming off.
Nope, they're not. They're back on. I'm tightening the wheels. They're back on.
405 back squat for 5.
Nope.
Let's go.
Nope. Well, I thought we were getting somewhere, but I guess we're.
Was 405 back squat even a realistic thing when your back was healthy?
That's right. Open up the gates and let the horses run. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the Dexism.
They start coming up with the random sayings that don't make any sense.
Oh, open up the trailer and let the horses run.
There you go.
Yeah, I've had a crazy week. It's I actually got my other cast taken off yesterday.
Nice.
It's not fully healed yet, but they think with the increased working out, the two that are left are rubbing on the cast. And so I do daily dressings at home now. So when I go to work out, I take off the one bandage and just go with a compression sock. And then when I come home, I switch it all out, put new stuff on it and rewrap it. And then I'm good till the next day I work out. And so it's a very different feeling. And when your ankle, like the last leg, when the ankle is finally able to move, it's really weird.
Yeah. Does it feel unstable because of that?
It does.
Yeah. Just because you're not used to it.
Yeah. And I hate the Nano X's are higher top. And so they actually support my ankle, but they feel like dang wooden clogs when I'm working out. So I actually go low top Nano 9 to work out. And then when I'm home walking around, I wear the X's.
Yeah, that makes sense. They do kind of feel like
Metcon life.
They feel heavy.
Metcons?
Metcons?
Yeah, I have 2 pairs. I need to get them.
I'm all about the Metcon life.
Yeah, I love my 5s.
I like that. I have a pair. Mine are old, like style, but I like they're Metcons, but they're fly knit Metcons, and they're. I love them because it's good shoe that I can wear for running, but then also use it for lifting and box jumps and all that stuff. Like I have a pair of Nobles that, I like for, just an everyday shoe, but like I hate to run in them. And so like the Metcon fly knits are like just, it's the right fit for me. I'm Goldilocks.
Yeah, I like the fly knit 3s. I think I have a pair of. Charlie would probably know better than me because I've copied them.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're the 2s.
Oh, they're the 2s. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's old.
Ode.
The other thing I that happened to me this week is I learned the difference between an ounce and a fluid ounce.
Yeah. That surprised me that this was a confusion.
So my FitnessPal doesn't offer ounces very much in its tracking. And I thought, well,
In their
ounce,
database.
fluid ounce, right.
Yeah.
And so I've pretty much switched to grams and got away from ounces altogether.
That will help you much, much easier.
So now I feel like a drug dealer because I'm weighing out, well, I need 15 grams of this. And I'm eating way less carbs now because I was tracking most of my carbs as fluid ounces.
So were you just like, how did you come to the realization? Like what happened?
Well, I plateaued, and not only plateaued, I was bouncing up a lot, and it just wasn't making sense. And so I reached out to Cheryl. I'm like, I don't get this. Like I am as compliant can be. I've increased my working out. I've done all this stuff. The intensity's gone up and my weight's going up. Like what the hell? And then she went and looked at my FitnessPal and she's like, well, found it. And she showed me, and I've posted that on social media, and I have had about 15 responses of people that were tracking by fluid ounces and realized they had made a mistake too.
Really? That's interesting. Look at you changing lives.
Changing lives one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Yeah, it kind of just depends on like what the database is, but because I've seen that in there, like the fluid ounces and stuff. But yeah, I kind of made the switch a little while ago to go to grams, and that's definitely helped out.
They're even hard to find in that database.
Sometimes, yeah. But also, if you look on the bottom of the package of what, like if I'm saying like ground turkey or something, it will say how many grams for serving, and then you go and just kind of weigh that.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do all that or make a new one if I need to, so I can add it in there. But yeah, it's been life-changing because since then I've made up the 2 pounds from last week and had a considerable weight loss this week already just by untripling my carbs.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought it?
You know what happened that was weird over here at my house today, because Charlie and I are on this, tightening things up over here. So I try to just weigh twice a week, and I only used to just weigh one time a week, but I started to read some more information about just maybe checking it twice a week just because of fluctuation and all that. And I actually did lose from the last time I weighed 3 pounds. And that was a big surprise. Like I got back on and weighed a couple of times because I was like, maybe I just can't see that right. So I'm thinking I must have been fluctuating higher the last time, and because I don't think a true weight loss of 3 pounds. But when I see that number, that's feels good that progress is happening. So
yeah, part of this week might be not having a cast on my leg, but I am going to take that because that is a huge achievement.
Yeah, I didn't think about that aspect of weight.
Because I've been carrying that around for 3 years.
Yeah, sure.
Did we?
I don't think it weighs 3
it,
pounds,
or
but
we bury it.
Well, they put a new one on twice a week, so there's a stack of them.
Yeah,
it'd be a big old bonfire.
Let's do it.
I like fire.
You got a fire pit back there.
So, any good workouts this week?
Well, I have some high strains this week. So I couldn't make it to the gym on Monday just because of timing and stuff. And so I ran on the treadmill, which I tried not to do. I tried to run outside, but I did some intervals on the treadmill. And then I looked and I had like a 17 strain on my Whoop. And I can get high strains from running, but it was just 4 miles. Normally wouldn't get that high of a strain for 4 miles. But I think because I did the intervals and let my heart rate come up and down, that was good. I did some deadlifts today. I did heavy back squats yesterday that Charlie was worried about because when I'm set up with a barbell, sometimes it looks like I'm leaning. so he was all really worried about that. And I had my body work appointment after that. And I talked to my therapist and he checked and he was like, nothing is out of alignment with your hips and pelvis. So it's more that one trap and lat is tighter than the other. So I'm not worried about that being like that at all. And so I was like, okay, good. I can go back and tell my peeps we cool.
Yeah. I'm just getting my butt kicked like every week. It's so fast there compared to what I'm used to. And it's not that it's better. It's just different. And my body is just not used to it. The strength is done at such a pace. When I get to the Metcon, I'm already tired. So then I'm starting the Metcon breathing heavy out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But like today, when I hit the last round of kettlebells, and I was struggling on the kettlebells, and I used to never struggle, but I found the breathing pattern finally, breathing at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went like double what I was doing before when I found that breath rhythm. It's just finding all of that stuff again. My snatch Monday was so bad. I stripped off all the weight and went to an empty barbell and just worked on form because it was a train wreck. And I really got to get working on that again. But overall, my strains have been high. I'm getting good workouts in. I'm not as sore after each workout, so that's good. Yeah, good
How's
stuff.
your sleep? Did you try the magnesium?
I haven't yet. Just
Okay.
our pay days are falling weird this month, and so I haven't had a chance to get to the store.
Okay.
But yeah, my sleep is slowly getting better. I actually switched beds. I went to a harder bed, and I'm sleeping alone.
Yeah.
But it's ticked up a little bit. I'm up over 6 consistently now instead of 5. But I really would like to get to 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of my story this week. Anything from you, Charlie? Just rehabbing, taking it easy?
Just taking it easy. It doesn't hurt, so that's a good thing. I did push a little strict press, went with my actual numbers, and it still felt good. So
I did give him permission to do that.
she did give me permission to do that. Now, not on the workout, I had to go down, which was fine. But
that was terrible.
That was a terrible workout.
It really was.
There were strict presses in a workout?
No, they were push presses, but they were
presses.
Freaking heavy.
The strict press was the strength before the WOD. A little percentage work.
Yeah,
that's
so
all
he
I got
did
is
that.
A strict press. So that was fine with me.
Yep. I said, as long as you're back, as long as you maintain in a good position and you keep your rib cage down, I'll let you hit your numbers on your strict press.
You remember, Scott, that strict press that is a pound
Shut
heavier.
your hole.
Oh, is he 1 pound higher than you?
We were last time I PR'd my strict press.
Yeah.
I was lifting with Charlie and he PR'd his strict press.
Yeah.
And I hit 200.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be it. We were done. I hit my PR and we were done.
Yeah.
Charlie slid on, changed plates, and then barely hit 202, 205. I don't even remember what it was.
Yep.
And then he was like, awesome. Gotcha. I was like,
gotcha. Ugh. And time was up.
Yeah.
No chance for you. That was like
when
3
I got
years
my
ago.
200 up easy, and Charlie struggled on the 202.
Well, why didn't you go for another?
Time was up. I had to move.
Guess what? The
He
book doesn't
waited
say
until
he struggled.
time expired.
Yeah, you're right. On the whiteboard doesn't say that. It just says the weight, doesn't it?
Just says the weight. It says 1 in second place. Double S.
Yeah. So I was going to say, have you guys, I mean, I know we've talked about it like on our text string, but my goodness, the teens this year are crushing it. Crushing.
So many of them.
Yeah.
Especially on the female side, just killing it.
I mean,
So we had Emma on Monday.
Yeah.
Talked about that. She finished 4th. Mal O'Brien 2nd. Our girl Annika, she 20 something in
Yeah.
North America.
Yeah.
We're actually having her on soon, so we
I
can ask
know.
her to kind of talk about that.
She's looking like she has gotten really strong. Like just from her Instagram, like her lifts, I'm like, I'm not talking about the weight, like just her body looks like it is real strong.
Well, if you remember last year when we interviewed her, she could clean and jerk 235. And now a year later, she looks stronger.
Yeah. Scary.
Like she's
Find out
up
what
in
that's
those
all
like
about.
Brooke
Yeah.
Entz numbers and Danny Spiegel numbers.
We got to find out about their nutrition.
I know what it is.
I think she's with
Oh.
them too, just like Emma.
She is with
Oh.
him too.
Oh.
So is Mal O'Brien.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
There's a
your
reason
boy
that
now. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a reason that nutrition is at the bottom of the CrossFit pyramid.
Yep, that's right. That's the base. So what about on the guy side?
The only team that I really know is it's Dylan Pepper. He didn't finish as high as the girls, but he did make it. I can't remember. He won the 17-18 last year.
Okay, yeah.
Rich. Shoot. I didn't have as many notes tonight. You know, we're doing this freewheeling stuff, so.
Okay, so but let's recoup. So what happens now is the semifinals, right?
Right.
So after the semifinals
is the games. Well, the
games.
Last chance. Well, there's
So
those
I
now
guess that's
2
my question.
last chance things.
Okay.
So the first thing I wanted to talk about real quick is there's some old faces that like popped up on the leaderboard that said they were done. Paul Tremblay said on our podcast he was done. He made the semis, and on our podcast he said, "My wife said if I make it, I have to go."
Okay.
I talked to Tanil Reed this week. Tanil Reed Berlin.
Yeah, right.
She said she was done. She made the semis, and she said, "Well, I didn't think I'd make it working out 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, but here I am." And I said, "Well, that's because you're a savage athlete."
That's right.
And so I think she's going to do it. She just doesn't know how, like if she's going to ramp up at all or just keep doing
like
what she's doing.
How serious am I going to be with this? Yeah.
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 So it's been interesting to kind of catch up with some of our former guests who told us they were done.
Right. Right.
And
I think what we need to talk about is that you and I, who bought heavy stock in our boy Travis Mayer. And now it's all coming through. It's like our dog coin or whatever that is.
Big
we bought
coin.
in low, and now look at him.
Oh, yeah. You and I used to fight over him in the fantasy draft at our gym.
Yep.
I love it.
And now he wins the quarters.
He makes us guys with multiple kids look good.
I did see that if you took Rich's scores and put them on the leaderboard, he did not do one of the tests, but the 4 scores he would have done, he would have had like a 70-point lead going into that final test.
Jesus.
That's a savage athlete. That is savage.
And that's not training like he used to train.
I know.
I feel like he still does.
Has his DNA been tested?
He may be from Krypton.
Can we put that in a shot and put it in my arm?
Yeah. Dang.
I'll take a little of that.
So then we go to the semis, and those are going to be the 4 North American, the 2 Europe, Asia, Asia, Oceania, Africa, and South America.
Okay.
this is where some of the big dilemma is going to come in.
Yeah.
Because some
Travel.
of those are going to move to virtual, which may actually solve the problem of the extra event to get people in who can't get to where they're going. But it would be a real bummer if we didn't have any in-person events. However, it's going to be a conundrum that some are virtual and some are in person, and both are qualifying people for the games.
That's the problem. That's a big problem.
I talked to a source yesterday who believes that West Coast is on shaky ground. And they
I
may
would
be
think
looking
specifically the West Coast for sure.
and they may be looking for more open states to hold that event. So the West Coast Classic in Denver, which isn't West Coast anymore, but I hear that's what I'm hearing on the street. Minnesota is just a mess right now, and more in a political sense than a COVID sense.
Yeah.
And the problem with Granite Games is they were going to be held at an NFL facility, and would the NFL allow outside people into a facility that their players have to come into with the COVID protocol?
Yeah, I would say that's not going to happen.
But both are run by Loud and Live. And so hopefully if they're looking at moving one, maybe they're going to look at moving another to something else.
It seems like I wish, and I know some of it, I mean, like the outdoor option is like your best option. Like I get that there's other.
Well, I think the fairgrounds in Del Mar, where they were going to hold the West Coast Classic, is open air around the sides. It's like a big pole barn. Okay. So it has a roof.
Okay.
But there's no walls.
Yeah.
And I'm only guessing that from the pictures I've seen in the video. From there, it looks very open.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
So then from there, if you could not travel to a live event, there's going to be like a makeup virtual event for those people like Tia, Katrin, people that are living like in the United States and can't travel back to Australia, or it's fiscally difficult for them to do so. And then after that is the last chance competition where the next 3 slots after whoever makes it get put into a hopper and they show up at last chance, and then that determines if they can get to the games. And that may be I think that's virtual this year for sure. And then of course the games.
I hear Walter.
You do. I know. He's pretty wound up today. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's Murph. He's outside.
Yeah. They're having a conversation.
They must be.
So I think that's how it kind of lines up. The source I talked to yesterday thinks that like it's going to happen in Madison and the games will go kind of as expected. There's a little more time there. It's a Midwest state. Things are looking better in the Midwest than on the West Coast.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, somebody had big surgery.
Yeah.
Sarah had her surgery. Yeah.
So I don't know if you've been watching any of her YouTube, the WIT stuff that they're doing with her.
I did watch where she talked about her injury, like how it happened. Like I watched the first one.
So Charlie, have you seen the second one?
No, I haven't.
So she talks a lot about her clothing line, but during that they show her like deadlifting, like massive amounts of weight.
Yeah.
And she's like, it feels so good. Like, do I really need this surgery? And then she's like, but I know in my head, if I don't have the surgery, it's going to come back and bite me later.
Yeah.
And she's already missed the Open, so there's no way to get back into the competition season.
Yeah.
So why not just make it right at this point?
Yeah.
But her range of
I've been
motion,
watching it.
Yeah, her range of motion was amazing for a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
she's been
this'll
able
be-
to do a
this-
lot. Go
This
ahead,
will be a
Charlie.
good test of her mental game to be able to come back from this and still be strong. Maybe it helps. Sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah.
Get you over that hump.
Yeah. As you guys know, she's one of my favorites, and I hope that she can come back.
Yeah.
And I've heard that the surgery went well, nothing unexpected, and went real well. So hopefully, thoughts and prayers to Sara, and that she gets a speedy recovery and back at it, maybe for the off-season competitions.
Right on.
So did you guys know anybody who tried the equipment-free open?
I don't know anybody that did.
Because
No
there was
problem.
only like 1.7% of people that tried the equipment-free open. And there's this kind of big, I don't know, they're trying to make a statement that it was too hard, and that's why people didn't do it. My take on this, and you guys can jump in whenever, is that it wasn't meant to be an easy workout. It was meant to be an RX level equipment-free workout for those who don't have the equipment at their home. The scaled and foundations were for the people who couldn't do RX.
Right.
And so I think because of COVID, it was a necessary evil that they had to put out there and give an option to people. Now, next year, maybe they don't do it because COVID's gone and everybody can get back to the gym and
Right.
everything's fine.
I
And
hope they keep the foundations part.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the
Yeah.
equipment
Yeah.
free.
Sure. Yeah.
And then if you're an RX athlete, you're either probably in a gym or have some equipment in your house.
Right.
90%.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So that your niche for that equipment free was very small to begin with.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
So that's my take. You guys have any other thoughts?
Not really on that.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about Charlie's boy here.
That's exactly. I saw Charlie right after I saw it on Instagram. I was like, did you see about your boy? Your boy.
Christian Lucero.
Yeah.
Hanging it up.
Yeah.
A greater
Why
calling.
is he hanging it up, Charlie?
Got a greater calling. Thinks he's got a bigger purpose than fitnessing for a profession.
Yeah, he is joining the military. Have you guys heard what branch? Because I could not find that.
No.
No, I have not.
So he thinks it's the perfect fit for him because of all of the different fitnessing he's done in his life. And I actually learned that he is a former MMA fighter. Did not know that.
I didn't either.
And so the CrossFit and the MMA, and I think he did one other type of fitness before that. He believes that the combination of all that makes him a really good soldier. And he's reached out to other military people in the CrossFit space to kind of get their advice and things like that. He did not.
How old is he?
names. Well, he started CrossFit in 2012.
Okay.
So he's back in the OG.
something.
Yeah.
Mm.
I am betting like early 30s.
Yeah.
So, and just a side note to this, I know last week my best thing from the internet was the interview with Boz and Dave Eubanks with Talking Elite Fitness. And they actually made the comment that if you're going to put a wall ball target up, don't put the 10 feet line in the middle of the target. Make sure the bottom of the target is at the 10 foot. And I think that was a straight dig at your boy, Charlie.
Yeah, that sure sounds like it. And I don't like it.
Whoopsie.
He took it so hard he decided to quit and join the military.
He's like,
Wow.
this is nonsense.
Yeah. Well, that's really all the news I have. Any kind of family updates? You guys just rocking steady?
Well, my son informed me that he only has 5 weeks left of school until high school's over. And that's happening.
So he shifted into cruise control and he's just feet up.
Yeah, I feel like we've already been there, to be honest. But
Since sophomore year.
well, definitely since the March of last year, since hybrid. And Charlie's son is graduating this year too. So we got 3 boys on this show that are graduating.
That's right.
Because
3?
Kat,
Oh yeah,
Nate, and Charlie.
yeah. Kat's actually at a signing day tonight for
Yeah.
her son, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the other. Sorry, you go first.
Corey's moving out in 3 weeks.
Moving out to come back home, or moving out of your house?
Moving out of my house.
Where's she moving?
She's a big time, big
Athens.
job now.
Oh, that's right. I didn't realize it started so soon.
Well, that job is just, she's actually still working at Menards. So they're gonna transfer her to Athens.
Okay.
And it needs an apartment for her junior year anyway. So she's moving into that apartment starting in May, just gonna work the summer and then go back to school in the fall.
That's exciting.
And yeah, it's more of a permanent move because now it's into her apartment. It's not really school housing, and she's looking at it as her first step.
Yeah. To adulthood.
Yeah. And I'll actually get the other half of my garage back when all of her stuff is moved to Athens.
So you think your basement will get filled up with something?
My basement's almost empty now. We decluttered a lot last year.
I love to declutter.
Then
So
I
here's
had
the
my
other-
garage decluttered and now it's not.
Yeah. Here's the other update I was going to give you about my family. So Natalie plays varsity lacrosse. And so 2 nights a week we go to games. And I send texts often to you guys that I'm surprised that my husband, Scott, has not been kicked out of a game yet, because he is very passionate about he says supportive about his kids playing sports. And he is really good at making the calls and knowing what the refs are doing wrong. And so I've started a little video collage that I'll be putting together with all the little clips of the very helpful comments that Scott makes to the refs during the game. It was so bad that on one of the games, Natalie's whole squad turned around and looked up, and I'm going like this, hiding.
Yeah, I've watched a high school football game or 2 with your husband.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
I mean-
I have felt it.
Any sporting event, it truly is.
But at a high school football game, there's 10,000 people there, maybe.
Right.
At a lacrosse game,
10,000 people at a high school football game?
whatever. I'm just throwing a number out.
Okay.
There's a lot of people at the high school game.
Okay.
Bands playing, there's
Yeah.
noise everywhere. So he can get drowned out a little bit.
You're right.
I'm saying at a lacrosse game, it's probably not the band. And
No.
he has the full
He's loud.
attention of the entire stadium.
This is a time where I'm glad that we have masks at these places, because then I'm at least, give me a hat and I'm good.
And then yours says, I'm not with him.
Right. So yeah, that's just my fun stuff.
Well, let's jump into silly questions that are brought to you by Up Before You Coffee. UpBeforeYouCoffee.com. You can order light roast or medium roast. Both are delicious choices. So check that out. Use Clydesdale20 at checkout to get 20% off your order of whatever coffee you're looking for. Delicious. Check it out. UpBeforeYou.com. So my first question to you guys is, during quarantine, we've had a lot of extra time on our hands, and we talk a lot about what we've done athletically during all this stuff. But I want to know, what's one non-athletic thing? What was that?
He was shaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
What non-athletic thing have you accomplished during the quarantine that you're proud of? Like,
Mhm.
All my children are still alive.
Charlie, that is absolutely true, and we should celebrate that.
We should celebrate it with spirits.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
High quality H2O.
Because we've had a lot of incidents around here that
Yeah,
we had things on the ceilings, and
we've had poop.
So the poop incident stopped all of a sudden?
I mean, it was a one-time event.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It may still be up there. I try not to look in that direction.
I think having a puppy's bad.
We still streak on the neighborhood, so that's still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We like to water people's plants in other yards.
He's the boss of his body.
He is.
All right.
Yeah.
Amy?
Tell him your name. He'll write it for you.
He's the boss of his body fluids.
Yeah.
So mine, I would say mine's a professional one, but I'm still super proud of it. So I have had the opportunity to speak at a couple of conferences and do a couple of workshops at some conferences, and several of them were canceled because COVID. And so there was one that we actually, my co-director and I did that we filmed it and did it virtually. So it was about risk taking, the importance of being a risk taker, but doing that through play. So we talk about how there is different kinds of risk taking. So it's not just your physical risk taking, but there's social risks and emotional risks that are important parts of development. So I love to geek out on this stuff, but so we recorded this, and normally when we give this conference, we don't get to get a lot of feedback just because people come to our conference and then they leave and go to the next one. But because this one was virtual, we received tons of comments about how fantastic people thought it was. And so that made me feel proud, like, okay, I do know what I'm talking about most of the time. So
I can verify that. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I do. So that felt good.
Well, I have two. One's just a short one, and it just happened recently, and that is that I've remodeled my whole kitchen.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it knocked it out in 2 weeks. It turned out really well. I am so proud of it, to the point where I am, if people leave dirty dishes in the sink, I lose my mind, because this is my now new kitchen and you guys are not taking care of it.
Through that.
And I need to let that go. I really need, it's not.
No, you don't.
No. Don't let it go.
So that rolls right into my biggest accomplishment during quarantine. And that is working on my mental health. Instead of letting the quarantine take me down further, I finally sought help and got mental health assistance from a counselor and a psychiatrist, and have worked through a lot of problems. And I am a much happier person today than I was 6-8 months ago. And that's the thing I'm the most proud of, because it really helped me turn around my life in so many ways.
Love it.
Yours is definitely the best.
Yes.
I
You
think
win.
your kid still being alive is pretty darn good, Charlie.
Nah, nope.
So now the really fun question is, what is the worst song that was ever made? Amy, you go first.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
I'll go first
Amy.
with this. I will also tell you, I still sing it though. I will sing it when I hear it. But I think one of the worst songs is Mbop by the Hanson Brothers.
oh, that's in my top 10 of greatest songs.
Oh my gosh.
I had that CD. I love that CD.
Okay, well, that's mine. I think it's dumb. And also anything by Imagine Dragons. Sorry, I said it.
Charlie?
So I have two as well as your last one. Savage Love is the worst song ever created. Jason Derulo, no.
What I want you to tell the Jason Derulo story after your other one.
Gangster's Paradise. Another
Coolio?
awful song.
By Coolio.
Coolio. Ugh.
I just
Yeah.
listened to that on loop today.
Well, that's why your strain was down.
I'm just kidding.
It is awful.
So what's the Derulo story?
I don't know. What is the Derulo
Oh,
story?
just about how you were talking about one time about Cameron going to school and telling the kid that my dad doesn't like Jason Derulo, and you
Yes.
said, yeah, that one.
Yeah, basically that is the story. He told the kid that if I see Jason Derulo, I'm going to fight him.
And Charlie
And I
said,
know he
good.
listens to the podcast, so you know what?
Bring
You
it
know where
on.
I'll be, buddy.
Yep.
Do you
Meet you
know
on
what though?
TikTok.
I think that Derulo's TikTok is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I actually really do like Jason Derulo, but I think it's funny that Charlie can't stand him.
That's
I'm not a
fine.
big fan of his music, but the TikTok is
Nope.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, why? We know your terrible voice. It's fine. You don't need to say your name too.
Okay.
so my least favorite song, and this is by a landslide. There is no number 2 because this one is the worst ever. And it is The Final Countdown by Europe. That stupid synthesizer opening. You're trying to be this big, tough rock band, and oh,
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And then when they started using it in commercials and stuff, it actually changes my mood horribly. Hate the song.
Yeah.
So much. And it's by a landslide. No, but there is no runner up or anything. And for me, that's a big thing because I always have 2 answers. All right. Well, we're going to talk about our next week's guest, and it's a little bit different than what we've kind of done in the past. And it is Alexandra LaChance. And she is now a Columbus native. And she's going to tell you why in that episode on Monday. She also came on the CrossFit scene back in 2014 with a bang, and everything she's ever attempted in her life, she's been really good at. And what she's doing now is Olympic weightlifting. She is a national champion. She is super strong. She knows her stuff, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. There's a lot of fun stories in this, and I think you'll like it a lot. So now, best thing from the internet. Amy?
Okay, I have it. It's here. So this was on something on Instagram, and it's taken from it's something a child wrote for a school project. And it talks about they were celebrating the 100th day of school, and this is what the person wrote, and I couldn't relate to this anymore. And it says, when I turn 100 years old, I will be tired of everything and everyone. So I will tell everyone I'm going to Canada, but actually go to the Bahamas. I'll live in a tiny hut with my tiny dog. I will order fish tacos when I'm hungry and live my best life with no crap. I think it's the best thing ever. I'm just going to add a big dog, though, not a little dog.
Yeah. Charlie, you got anything?
I'm going to say there's a guy on Instagram. This is a good one for the ladies. He is called the Fittest Wizard. He does things on there. He does a lot of dance moves. He actually, I believe he was 3rd in his region in the quarterfinals or the semi or the open. But he does these dance moves while he'll do a snatch, then he'll drop into the splits, and then he'll do a Magic Mike move. It's one, incredible because his mobility is fantastic. Almost as great as mine, but it's a good follow. The Fittest Wizard.
All right.
On it right now.
Well, I actually have two because I didn't know if I needed to back Charlie up or not. But the first one's just a quick one. Pursuing Health with Julie Fouché. She had a lady on, dang it, I can't remember her name. Shoot. But anyway, she is an endurance athlete who tries different endurance things. And she was the first woman to row the Atlantic Ocean. And I believe it took her 72 days. And she talks about the story and how there was no follow boat. So she was out there by herself. She had solar panels to charge a sat phone so she could blog like every other day. And she had one down day where she streamed Harry Potter movies and ate chocolate, but only one out of the 72 days. But the craziest thing is you have to land at a port to be unassisted across the Atlantic Ocean to make it qualify. And because of the weather and the currents, she missed the port and had to row an extra 400 miles to get to the port.
400 miles.
And if she just went to land, it wouldn't count. A tugboat would have had to pull her to a port. And so she had to row it herself 400 miles to get to a port.
Oh.
In addition to rowing the entire ocean. But it's a great story. It's definitely worth the time. Especially when she gets into that component. And she does CrossFit to train for this. The other one is there's a guy on TikTok. If you guys have not seen this, his name is Richard Tyree. And what he does is he comments on other people's TikToks. And so you see the clip of the TikTok that he's talking about, and then something dumb or stupid will happen, and he'll go, Sir. And then he goes into like all this stuff. I cannot stop laughing at this guy. He is the best follow on TikTok. There's one where there's two guys running into a pond and the buddy's filming them, and he shows an alligator in the pond, and he's like, white people, don't be a gator snack pack or whatever. Like, and he'll just go into,
yeah.
I can't do it like he does, but it is so good. And it's just like quick hit jokes, like throughout the whole thing. Greatest TikToker ever. Got to check it out.
Love it. Awesome.
Well, with that, we got to thank our sponsors.
Yeah.
RX Smart Gear, rxsmartgear.com, Clydesdale 15 all caps, get 15% off. We're still racing to 1,000 subscribers, but we are moving that way. And the next time we hit a century mark, we will give away a classic RX Smart Gear jump rope. Just have to be a public profile and a subscriber of our channel. So go to Clydesdale Fitness and Friends podcast on YouTube and subscribe, public profile. You may be the next winner of an RX Smart Gear jump rope. We also need to thank Bear Bells protein bars. They are super delicious, tons of flavors, something for everybody. Use the code Clydesdale10 to get 10% off your order at bearbells.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on our channel. If you're listening on the audio version, we would appreciate a 5-star review. And if you want to write a review for that as well, that'd be awesome. That all helps our algorithms and gets us out to more people. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time on the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.